A Senate Titan battle tested across 4 decades, now preparing to leave the arena. Senator Dick Durbin, Democratic whip, architect of landmark reforms, and a voice of quiet conviction, announces his retirement. What does this mean for the Democratic Party, for Illinois, and for the future of Senate leadership? In a move long anticipated on Capitol Hill, Senator Richard J. Durbin of Illinois, Democratic whip, and the chamber's second-ranking Democrat on April 23rd, announced that he will not seek re-election in 2026, marking the end of a storied 44-year career in Congress. Making a farewell announcement in his own words, Richard Durbin, also known as Dick Durbin, posted a video address on X stating decision of whether to run for re-election has not been easy. I truly love the job of being United States Senator, but in my heart, I know it's time to pass the torch. So I'm announcing today that I will not be seeking re-election at the end of my term. Durbin has represented Illinois in Congress for over 4 decades. He has been elected to the Senate 5 times and remains the longest-serving senator in Illinois history. The people of Illinois have honored me with this responsibility longer than anyone elected to the Senate in our state's history. I am truly grateful. Durbin's announcement came with no illusions about the political moment that in the video, he made clear that his commitment to the country remains firm, even as he prepares to exit the stage. Right now, the challenges facing our country are historic and unprecedented. The threats to our democracy and way of life are very real, and I can assure you I'll do everything in my power to fight for Illinois and the future of our country. Every day of my remaining time in the Senate, Durbin's announcement came with no illusions about the political moment. In the video, he made clear that his commitment to the country remains firm, even as he prepares to exit the stage. I've given over half of my life to House and Senate congressional service. I've always tried to stand up to power on behalf of the people of Illinois and our country. But none of it would have been possible without my wife, Loretta, our kids Christine, Paul, and Jennifer, and my energetic and amazing grandchildren, as well as my extended family. They stood with me and accepted the demands of my public career. I've been blessed to have them, as well as the best Senate staff anyone could ask for. My Senate colleague Tammy Duckworth is a trusted friend and an effective leader. She'll be a real asset to the nation as our state senior senator. In his remarks, he turned toward the future, signaling confidence in a new generation of Democrats. And in his final words, Durbin offered a moment of gratitude directed at the voters who gave him a resident of East St. Louis, a national platform. We're also fortunate to have a strong Democratic bench ready to serve, that we need them now more than ever. To the Illinois Arms, he gave his kid from St. Louis a chance to serve. Thank you for supporting me through the words and actions over the years. Now that I have this announcement behind me, I need to get back to work. The announcement immediately triggers a reshuffling within both Illinois' Democratic ranks and Senate leadership as one of the chamber's longest-serving figures and an architect of bipartisan criminal justice reform. Durbin's departure leaves a vacuum of institutional memory and legislative acumen and further accelerates a generational shift already underway. He is now the 5th sitting senator over the age of 65 to step aside in this cycle ahead of his announcement. In a recent interview with the New York Times that was published on April 23rd, Durbin acknowledged the internal struggle in stepping away at a time of rising political volatility. It was not an easy choice to step away from the prime perch doing battle with President Trump, where I thought, man, I don't want to miss this fight. But, I have to be honest about this. There are good people in the wings, good people on the bench ready to serve, and they can fight this fight just as effectively as I can. There comes a point where you have to face reality that this is the time to leave for me. His retirement also sets the stage for a generational handover in Democratic leadership. Several Illinois Democrats are already lining up to potentially replace him, including Representatives Lauren Underwood, Raja Krishnamurti and Robin Kelly, as well as Lieutenant Governor Juliana Stratton. The contest could become one of the nation's most closely watched Democratic primaries in the coming year. In a statement, Senator Chuck Schumer joined numerous Senate Democrats in praising Durbin, calling him a trusted partner, one of the most respected voices in the Senate for decades. Senator Brian Schatz, Democrat of Hawaii, and one of those interested in succeeding Durbin in leadership, called him a titan of the Senate for more than 4 decades. Senator Dick Durbin has been a pillar of leadership, integrity, and unwavering dedication to the people of his home state of Illinois and the nation. Durbin's exit comes as the Senate teeters between generations. A changing of the guard in a chamber where seniority and persistence have long defined power in an age of viral politics and political polarization. His legacy may well be remembered as a quiet, resolute defense of procedural integrity and progressive pragmatism. His voice may soon leave the Senate floor, but the policies and reforms he helped shape will remain embedded in the architecture of American governance. Durbin's political career has not been without controversy. In December 2023, he faced sharp criticism from Senator Marsha Blackburn for allegedly blocking her subpoena request for Jeffrey Epstein's infamous flight logs, and then denied knowing anything about it. The flight records allegedly detailed who flew on Epstein's private jet. The same plane reportedly used to traffic underage girls to his island. Blackburn called it a sad day for the Judiciary Committee, accused Democrats of stonewalling. As reported by the Center Square in December 2023, Durbin denies wrongdoing, but the tape tells another story. Allegations are there, and the questions aren't going away. A legislative force since 1983. Durbin began his Washington career by toppling an 11-term Republican incumbent in a newly redrawn House district. As a freshman congressman, he helped lead one of the nation's first successful anti-smoking campaigns, pushing for legislation that ultimately banned smoking on airplanes. As per a New York Times, Durbin entered the Senate in 1996, succeeding Mentor Paul Simon. Over 5 terms, he became a stalwart of the Judiciary Committee, and since 2005, a permanent fixture in Senate Democratic leadership as whip. He served closely alongside the late Harry Reid and current Majority Leader Chuck Schumer. Navigating legislative minefields through eras of bitter partisanship, Durbin was at the forefront of efforts to overhaul immigration policy, co-sponsoring the original DREAM Act in 2001 with Republican Senator Orrin Hatch. Though it never passed, the bill laid the groundwork for the Obama-era DACA program that protected hundreds of thousands of undocumented young immigrants from deportation. Even amid the Trump years, Durbin maintained bipartisan ties, particularly with Senator Chuck Grassley of Iowa, helping pass the First Step Act, a landmark criminal justice reform bill that recalibrated prison sentences and led to the early release of over 40,000 inmates. His absence will reshape Senate leadership dynamics as whip since 2005. Durbin served under leaders Harry Reid and Chuck Schumer and helped guide Democrats through high-stakes battles, including the Iraq War authorization, which he opposed, and impeachment proceedings against Trump. Despite losing out to Schumer for the top Democratic post in 2015, Durbin remained a loyal ally and fixture of leadership. However, his career was not without controversy. In 2005, Durbin sparked criticism when he compared reports of detainee abuse at Guantanamo Bay to atrocities committed by totalitarian regimes. He later apologized for what he called a poor choice of words.